everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Reaction Therapy. I am your resident psychotherapist, Tom Stevens, here to break down some lyrics to really cool music. And today, it's a fan favorite. People love this band, 21 Pilots, and it's none other than Stressed Out. This sounds like a perfect song for me with what I do as a therapist, right? That just being stressed, anxiety, trauma, just all the depression, just everything that goes on in life. So I cannot wait to hear what the lyrics in this song say. And we're watching the video today to be able to see what story they paint. But everybody seems to love 21 Pilots. One of these days, I want to go to a 21 Pilots concert to be able to really experience what an emotional event that is. And I'd love to get, speaking of that, I would love to get I need to get a shirt or a hoodie from everybody that I review or react to here, because I am falling in love with all of these artists, so many of which I never even listened to before, and 21 Pilots being one of them, even though I might have heard them kind of in a distance somewhere, never really listened to this music. So give me your feedback, give me your insight, and lastly, thank you so much for following, subscribing, and being a part of the Reaction Therapy family. Nick and I are so grateful that you would take the time to spend part of your day with us, because we love doing this and getting these videos out, and we love seeing you participate in it as well. So thank you so much for being a part of this journey with us. And without further ado, let's get into 21 Pilots, Stressed Out. This is so good.
I wish I found some better sounds no one's ever heard. I wish I had a better voice that sang some better words. I wish I found some chords in an order that is new. I wish I didn't have to rhyme every time I sang. I was told when I get older all my fears would shrink, but now I'm insecure and I care what people think. My name's Blurry Face and I care what you think.
So good. I really, now that I'm hearing this, I think I've heard this somewhere before. And I don't know whether it's been in a commercial or in a movie, or maybe I've just heard the song somewhere playing, but this beat, I feel like I've heard before. I just have not heard these lyrics the way he's talking about, man, I wish I didn't have to be expected to be the person I am, almost like him as a musician, like to have to rhyme everything, to have to make all the lyrics sound right, to be able to make the music. And he's riding this little, it's like a big wheel we had when I grew up, but it's a pretty cool little bike that he's riding down the street, almost like a younger child who's riding down the street with his backpack on and his hoodie or his stocking cap. And I just love hearing those, all the stressful things like any of us could relate to, right? The responsibilities you have, the things that you have to do, the people you have to deal with, the bills you have to pay, the things that you're behind on. There's just so much taking care of yourself. Anxiety, depression, trauma, addiction, stress, all the stuff we always talk about on the show, that he's just saying, I wish it did not have to be this way. And I wish I didn't care what people think, but I have a feeling he really does care what people think. And that's where the chorus was coming in. So let me hear that again.
And I care what people think. My name's Blurry Face and I care what you think. My name's Blurry Face and I care what you think.
That's just too much. It's like when you get to your friend's house, and you'll have this secret handshake that you do that takes like 5 minutes to do, and you go through it all and you're like so pumped because you actually get it and you do it right and it goes off really well. And then it's like all is right with the world. Everything's happy. We're all good. And then I love seeing them in this room in a house with 21 Pilots written on the drums, and just this little bitty drum set, this little bitty, studio setup for them. And I guess they're there to practice music, almost like going back to childhood when they started, like we're doing this for fun and we're getting together and we're hanging out. And then the beginning was like him talking about all the pressure that comes now with having to be accountable and responsible for this. Like that the fun goes away and all of a sudden it becomes more than what I wanted it to be. This is really cool.
Wish we could turn back time to the good old days when the mama sang us to sleep, but now we're stressed out. Wish we could turn back time to the good old days when the mama sang us to sleep, but now we're stressed.
Yep, that's what we wish, right? That we could turn back time to the good old days. Our moms used to sing us to sleep. We'd have a care in the world. And now we're just stressed out. We just have so much going on and so much that has to be taken care of. And man, I didn't even see that mic hanging down from the ceiling. But this is true facts about all of us in life. And I try to tell you, lower expectations, manage expectations, balance your life. As much as you think has to get done, as much pressure as you think is on you, it is not typically as bad as we make it out to be. And so we need to pull back. Many people overspend, which puts them into financial issues that they then have to crawl out of. And what we have to do is pull back spending so that we're not keeping ourselves under pressure. Many people overeat, which makes them gain weight and get out of shape and feel tired and depressed, which then makes them have to need to pull back and settle and balance. Same with exercise, with money, with pressure at work and overworking, with pressure at home. And we get so stressed out in life, we avoid home and we avoid responsibility and relationship at home with our children or our spouse. And then that takes us away from that relationship, which makes it worse. And I always tell people, again, you've heard it from me over and over, balance, exercise, eating, rest, prioritize. What's the 3 most important things in your life? And are you paying attention to those things? And sometimes we need to say no. The old adage I'll use is just because you can doesn't mean you should. And just because you can fit 3 more things into your life, just because you can volunteer for this, just because you can give to this, just because you can doesn't mean you should. And we have to, and that's the bonus of good therapy, by the way, having somebody or a mentor or a coach, having somebody who can tell you, wait, slow down. Pace yourself, take it easy. Just because I can put 20 videos out in a week, if I really just grinded all the time I had in a day, doesn't mean I should, right? I need to have balance. I need to have family time. I need to have alone time. I need to have, time that I just kind of am not responsible for anything. And you need to be able to lower expectations in life, because too many of us raise expectations so high that we become non-functional. When the pressure gets high enough, we quit being effective and we stop working. And so I'm reading a lot into that, but it's so applicable to life.
When the mama sang us to sleep, but now we're stressed out. We're stressed out.
Big boy Capri Suns, man. That is where it's at.
Sometimes a certain smell will take me back to when I was young. How come I'm never able to identify where it's coming from? I'd make a candle out of it if I ever found it. Try to sell it, never sell out of it. I probably only sell one. Maybe to my brother, cause we have the same nose, same clothes, homegrown, a stone's throw from a creek we used to roam. But it would remind us of when nothing really mattered, out of student loans and treehouse homes.
Yep, that whole idea of bringing back the aroma of the past. You ever smell something and it brings you back to kind of the past and what you remember, and it's like a good scent for you, but you probably wouldn't sell it to anybody else because they wouldn't want that. They'd smell it and be like, no, that's not for me. But him and his brother, yep, they're the two that would. I had this boy that I saw one time, and he would come into in an office building where my office is, and he would come into the building. It's an old building. It's been around 30, 40 years. And he just used to always talk about the love of the smell of the building I work in. And many people have said, gosh, it smells kind of musty or old because it's 40 years old, right? And the parents would say that, like, it just smells kind of old. But he would say, I love the smell of this building. You know why? Because I get to go see Mr. Tom. I get to go sit down and talk to him and spend some time with him. And it was just like it was like being at peace and at rest, just like he's talking about in this song. And he's saying, if I could just make a candle out of it, isn't that cool? Just to burn a candle of one of your favorite scents from growing up and what you remember. And he just wishes he could float back to that time where the responsibility was little and the hope of life was so high compared to now.
We used to roam, but it would remind us of when nothing really mattered. Out of student loans and treehouse homes, we all would take the ladder. My name's Blurry Face and I care what you think. My name's Blurry Face and I care what you think. Wish we could turn back time to the good old days when the mama sang.
This is interesting. This is almost like they've grown up. It's like they went from childhood into teenage years now. And now they're in his room as teenagers, and you can almost see it, a little bit more pressure, a little bit more having to be somebody. Their equipment's a little bit better and they're having to step it up. And yeah, I care what you think. And they're caring so much about what other people think and just being stressed out. And I keep telling you again, if that's happening, pull back the expectations, settle things down, slow down your life. If you're doing 10 different things in a day, start to do 7. And I know it feels like you can't. There's stuff you have to do, but sometimes you got to stop doing as much as you're doing to bring the stress level to a reasonable level.
To the good old days when the mama sang us to sleep, but now we're stressed out. Wish we could turn back time to the good old days when the mama sang us to sleep, but now we're stressed out. Used to play pretend, give each other different names. We would build a rocket ship and then we'd fly far away. Used to dream of outer space, but now they're laughing at the face, saying, wake up, you need to make money.
This is crazy. I could see how their concerts would be amazing just because this is so crowd engaging, right? Like you could hear the entire crowd saying that, wake up, you need to make money. And I just love this setting with these people staring at them like, what are you doing? Laying in bed. And the two of them are just opposite each other. The visual here is incredible.
To dream of outer space, but now they're laughing at the face, saying, wake up, you need to make money. Yeah. We used to play pretend, give each other different names. We would build a rocket ship and then we'd fly far away. Used to dream of outer space, but now they're laughing at the face.
Just the whole idea. We used to just fantasize. We used to have a great life, give each other different names. We'd fly up into space and we'd have fun. And now they're having to be, and these other people are so serious, right? They're all judging them and looking at them like whether they're good enough and performing well enough. And they're having to be something. They're just growing up as the video moves on, having to be something that they didn't set out to be in the beginning. And so it's kind of like, I know I can't go back to childhood and like just play pretend my whole life, but this has become something I didn't expect. And I know I need to do it. I know it's my job. I know it's my life. And everybody out there, you can relate to this. I know I need to go make money. I know I need to have a job. I need to provide. But sometimes I just want to let go of some of the responsibility. This is why children are so important, because children remind us of play. They remind us of how to have fun. And a lot of times people spend their whole life stressed out and they don't do anything fun. You need to have a hobby. You need to have a release. You need to have a place you go and a thing you do that's just for you, to feed you, even if it doesn't make sense.
Rocket ship and then we fly far away. Used to dream of outer space, but now they're laughing at the face, saying, wake up, you need to make money. Yeah. Wish we could turn back time to the good old days when the mama sang us to sleep, but now we're stressed out. Wish we could turn back time to the good old days when the mama sang.
I feel like that was actually them. Like, I don't know. Is these actual family members of theirs that are right there with them in the video, and all these pictures, I feel like they're real.
Used to play pretend, bunny. We used to play pretend, wake up, you need the money. Used to play pretend, bunny. We used to play pretend, wake up, you need the money.
Man, this is like gruesome, but it's like this voice of like, this is what you will do now, and how intense that is. These guys seem really cool. Like, I would love to meet these guys just because their songs have so much meaning and they have so much life in them. the way they perform them and the way that they sing them, and the voice is so unique, but the songs have so much life that you can tell it comes from their soul. Like you can tell it comes from exactly how they feel. I would love to know their story and their background. But 21 Pilots, huge fan right now.
Used to play pretend, bunny. We used to play pretend, wake up, you need the money. Used to play pretend, give each other different names. We would build a rocket ship and then we fly far away. Used to dream of outer space, but now they're laughing at the face, saying, wake up, you need to make money. Yeah.
Wow. Totally cool. I loved that video. Like that, I could replay again. I'm going to go play that again. I know I had heard that song in the past at some point, but man, hearing the lyrics of that and seeing the video and realizing what stressed out means to all of us, because we can all relate to stressed out. But the notion that I know this is a part of life, but I just give me a minute to let me go back and talk about what's so stressful, what's so hard, what I can't stand, what I just want a break from. And I always preach to people, take breaks. You need that outlet. I had a therapist one time, as a side note, tell me of my own, when I've been through much therapy in my life as well, which any good therapist should do, right? And I remember he told me one week, before I see you again, I want you to go out and see a movie during the day, during the workday, by yourself. And I said, well, I don't understand. That doesn't make sense. Like, why? I mean, I've got a job. I'm building a practice. I'm trying to, provide and do all the things. I need to be working. And he's like, well, you're not going to come back and see me until you go to a movie by yourself during the day. And I want you to report back to me about it. And I went and I did it because he told me to do it. I followed direction. And it was the most uncomfortable movie that I probably remember very little of. And I felt totally awkward and out of place and wasn't comfortable at all. And I went back and immediately when I saw him, realized why he had me do that. Because I didn't know how to relax. I didn't know how to take it easy. I didn't know how to just take time for myself. That was selfish. That was something that was taking away from my workday. And I'll never forget that lesson he taught me. And so instead of going to a movie now by myself, I go out to eat with myself into restaurants. And it's time with just me to be able to reflect, to feel, to slow myself down. And I encourage everybody just to find some way to deal with the stressed out part of yourself by having some relief and going back mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically to your childhood to play or to relax or to do something that at least takes a little of the pressure off, because life's still going. We still have responsibility. Great video. Thank you so much for requesting that, 21 Pilots fans. And I cannot wait for the next 21 Pilots. And I cannot wait for the concert of 21 Pilots that one day I'm going to get to go to. So please leave your comments, your insight, your input to me, because I know you've got tons of it for this song and this group. And I'm just pumped. Now I'm excited. Want to go outside and play. Thank you so much for being here. Remember, if you need help, go to the link in my bio. This is not therapy. It's just some wisdom on the lyrics from Tom, who is a therapist. But please go get help if you really need it, or someone you know does. But until then, I cannot wait to see you on the next Reaction Therapy.